Simping. What is simping? Does giving to a woman always make you less attractive to her? Or are there times when it can actually make you more attractive? Well, let's take a look. So I'm willing to bet you've heard guys like Casey Zander talk about how women hate love and they can't stand being treated nice and being given nice stuff all the time. But then you look at what actually happens out in the real world, and it seems like some guys actually get away with it just fine. In fact, if anything, it's working pretty well for them. So why? Watch this girl explain what's going on here better than I think even she realizes.
I'll say it again. You didn't screw up by showing too much interest. The right person would never be deterred by you showing interest. You can't screw up with the right person. They're just the wrong person.
So the key here is that phrase, the right person. Now, my guess is, like a lot of people, she's probably assuming that the right person is someone you're just gonna randomly connect with, or it's the person that you're destined for or something like that, which isn't really it. But she is right that if a woman thinks you're the right person for her, you can kind of go about it however you want. You can give too much or not enough and she'll still want you. If she thinks you're the wrong person, nothing you do is gonna work. So the question we really gotta ask is, what makes her feel like you're the right person? Because for a lot of guys, that just ain't happening. That's why this commenter says, oh, what, so everyone is the wrong person. Got it. Liked. It all comes down to attraction. If she's attracted enough, she will think you're the right person. So we gotta know, why do people get attracted to each other? Is it just your compatibility? Well, no, not really. We see all kinds of people who are the same or completely different, and that doesn't seem to make that big of a difference. Is it the techniques you use, or the dialogue options you pick, or any of the stuff that you do? Kinda no. I mean, some of that stuff can help, but that's not the thing. It's actually very simple. People are attracted to each other for what they have, not what they do. If you don't believe me, just watch what people choose. Now, to be crystal clear, I'm not talking about like the full spectrum of agape love in relationships. I'm just talking about base level romantic attraction, which you have to have if you want to go from the friend zone to a real relationship. We actually see this idea in the Bible of all places. We go to Song of Solomon. What does Solomon praise the woman for? Her beauty. And what does she praise him for? His strength, his speed, his handsomeness. As guys, we sometimes struggle to understand how attraction works because we're very action oriented. We're very doing focused. We focus on, well, if I did this and I did that and that happened next, it must be because of what I did. So we don't see the having underneath it that was actually driving her decision. Think of it this way. It's like there's two boxes. You have the having box and then you have the doing box. And if you have the stuff in the having box that she's looking for, every answer will be the right answer as far as how you go about it. If you don't have the stuff, every answer will be the wrong answer and you won't understand why. So what does this have to do with simping? Well, if attraction is based more on what you have than what you do, then simping is when you try to do stuff to make up for not having the stuff that people are attracted to. Basically, you end up using your actions like money. You get her gifts. You send those super long texts like, hey, baby girl, you're the most beautiful, the most amazing girl ever. Or you do her chores for her, or whatever it is, as if those things are a currency that you're making a purchase with. You want her to want you, so you try to buy her desire for you, which is understandably kind of gross from her perspective. Simping happens when you're giving out of a place of emptiness. And if you give while you're empty, then you'll always be giving to get. But if you give out of a place of abundance or extra, and you're just overflowing out of what you have, that's when people can receive it as a gift. That's when simping can actually be a good thing. Because believe it or not, women actually do want that stuff from men. They do want a man's time and attention and the super sweet long texts, as long as it's coming from a guy that she values. And he's not trying to get something from her with it. If you give out of a place of abundance and you have the stuff that she's looking for, you can give to her all that stuff that you want to give and she'll actually receive it because she feels safe. She feels like, oh, okay, this guy is not, he's not trying to get something from me like all of the other guys out there. And it also makes her feel special because, hey, this guy's got plenty of stuff to give and plenty of people want it, but he chose me. that can actually make her feel great to be with you and make her want you even more. Now, before you jump in the comments saying, yeah, but I'll never have that stuff. Well, you are wrong, good sir, and I think you can do better than that. Because as guys, we're lucky. The stuff that women want from us is mostly stuff that any of us can work on and build up. You don't have to be born with it. So if you don't have it, that just means you don't have it yet. But you can, if you put in the work. It's a lot of work, but it's not impossible. I did a video all about the stuff that women want you to have and why they want it, so I'll put a link to that at the end. But basically, just think of it like you have to max out a few stats before you can access the romance DLC. I think this is also why a lot of older guys tend to give really bad dating advice. So let's say you have a guy that's struggling, and he goes and asks like an older guy, a married guy or whatever, and says, hey, what did you do that worked? Because it's no, I'm not getting it done. Their older guy will say, well, I did this and I did that, right? I mean, I bought her flowers, I walked her dog, and that seemed to work. So I'll tell him to do that. And the guy goes, oh, okay, great. And he goes off and tries it and it doesn't work at all because he doesn't have the stuff that the older guy had. And so the advice completely misses the mark and it doesn't work consistently because he's trying to do different things, but none of those doing things are filling up the having bucket in a way that's satisfying to a woman. Then on the other side, you get guys like Casey Zander, who maybe he did walk her dog and buy her flowers and it didn't work for him. And so he thinks, well, I did this and I did this and that didn't work. So now I'm going to tell all of the guys that that never works. But again, it's not about the doing, it's about the having. Now, as guys, we have a hard time accepting this for a couple of reasons. For one, it means that we're not in control. Because if it's not about our actions and what we do, well, then we can't make it happen with our actions. We can't make a woman be attracted to us just by doing the right things. And we don't like that because then we gotta go, oh, okay, shoot. Well, I guess I gotta get to work and put some stuff in the having box that a woman might want. But then who knows if she actually will want it? And we're not in control of the process. And that's not fun. We also don't like it because it's not romantic at all. I think a lot of guys like me really want it to be so freaking hard it hurts. She isn't really attracted to you just because you exist. You have to actually go out and become something. And we have a hard time with that because it's not the romantic fantasy that we want it to be. But that's why for me, it's such a huge relief to have a relationship with Jesus because I don't need a woman to want me unconditionally or appreciate me just because I'm here because God already does that. I can just focus on building stuff up in myself so that I have the right kind of stuff to offer someone else. Now, you might be thinking to yourself at this point, does this mean that my actions don't matter at all and I can just do whatever I want? Well, no, not quite. Your actions actually do matter. Think of it this way. So for guys, it's a lot easier for us to tell if a woman has the stuff we're attracted to from the outside. We can see it. But girls can't. They can't see all of the stuff that they're looking for from us from the outside. It's like there's a wall in front of that box. A lot of your character and your temperament, your social connections, or whether or not you're going to succeed at the stuff you do, that is hidden. So a lot of her judgment about what's in that box is based off her perception of it, not necessarily what's actually in there. You can do things that make her perceive that you have a lot more or a lot less than you actually do. And this is where we get all of those sleazy pickup artists on YouTube teaching guys techniques. Because those techniques they're teaching them are all about manipulating a woman's perception of what's in the having box and making them feel like this guy has so much of what I want. Oh, this guy must be the right one for me, even though he probably doesn't. And those techniques aren't that much different from simping because by trying to manipulate her perception like that, you're still trying to do things to make up for not having the things. And that only works in the short term because as she gets to know you, that wall comes down and she can see what you have in your having box. And if the stuff's not there, good luck. If you got with her using a bunch of techniques, but you didn't have the substance to back it up, she'll find out. And it won't be pretty when she does. Because then she's left with buyer's remorse going, oh, shoot, this is not what I thought it was, and this is not where I want to be. So bottom line, if you're a guy and you want a certain kind of woman to be attracted to you, first thing you got to do is learn what she's looking to see in that having box. And it does vary. It's different from woman to woman. There are some patterns in it. But once you know what she's looking for in there, you got to do the work. Put that stuff in the box. Have that stuff that she's looking for. And act like you've got it. And then, if she wants it, great. If she doesn't, well, move on. You got all this awesome stuff in this box. Go find someone else to give it to. Because at the end of the day, if you have the stuff the other person is looking for, then every answer will be the right answer. You can go about it almost any way that you want to. You can even simp a little bit, and she might even like you more for it than she did before. And guys, if you want to work on yourself and build some stuff up to where you have that substance you can offer to not just the people you have a crush on, but everyone around you, check the link below, schedule a time for a coaching session, and we'll work on it together. If any of this was helpful, hit the like button, let the algorithm know that you're here, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And if you want to see more about where people's attraction patterns come from, check out this video right here. That's all I got this time. Stay weird. Peace.